Welcome back. Today we're going to take a look at how we can actually work with a result set and translate it to a vector of objects, so we can use that inside Java GUI or more advanced database information. So we're in an Oracle database controller, and so this is going to be the same process for Oracle as well as other databases when you're trying to do the basic process for that. But we do have to talk about the imports first. We have the import java.util.vector, a dynamic data structure we use for when we want to make sure things are a bit more available for when we're talking to and working with the JTable structure. Let's talk about the import right there. As you can see right here, we have a public static vector, which is a vector. I have a method called ResultSetToVector, which returns a vector of objects we have, and it's a static method. And just like the ResultSetToString method takes the app, the connection string, and the query as parameters, that's all we need to use to actually make that happen. Now, to make the vector of objects, again, the first thing we need to do is we need to initialize that vector of objects. This is a two-dimensional structure we can use to dynamically grow information that we're working with. Now, it's going to be a nice rectangular 2D grid because databases do have that nice 2D structure to it. Ah, so nice. But we have ResultSet contents is a new vector of object type because we don't know what exactly is stored inside it. So that's why we're using the default type of object. Just like we did earlier, we're making a connection that uses that connect to Oracle method, and then we use that same connection then to create a statement using the idea of type, scroll, and sensitive, and the concur read only, because we're only going to be reading the data out of this. We're not updating this on here. So just grab that right there. We then check to make sure we can actually execute that statement. If we can't, boom, we fall through, we're done, we're out. But if we are able to successfully execute that query, then we're going to get the result sets from that, and that's a try with resources again, because we can't guarantee we actually have access to that. The next thing we need to do is just get that metadata again. And so I'm going to do ResultSetMetaData headers is the query results.getMetadata, so we can actually get the topic information about that. Now, a little bit different when we're processing with a string, we're going to make a vector of object named column name, which is a new vector of object. Again, just like when we're processing a string, we start our index off at 1. We go to get column count and then go up by 1 each time. And then column names.add, passing it headers.getColumnName, parens as index. We're going to grab that value that's that index and put it inside our column names vector we're going to start off with. We'll append that new column names variable to the result set contents. This is the first contents of that. And then I'm going to say, hey, well, as long as I still have data, let's go ahead and let's grab that same data out of that. And so I'll make a new vector of object named row, because again, I use really creative variable names with that, which is a new vector of type object. Again, I start my index off at 1 and go to less than column names.size because I want to make sure I use this properly. And index goes up by 1 each time. And then I'm going to add a row. I'm going to add the query results.getObject that's at that index. I don't know what's inside there, so I'm just going to get the object value of it, and I'll put that inside my vector. Oh, great. Plop, 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 plop. And it'll give the values for everything that's inside that database query, whether it's a wrapped value of a primitive or an actual object of something. That I'm going to put that inside that vector of vector. And then ResultSetContents.add, passing it that row. Close all those squigs to finish off the method, and then catch any exceptions that would happen, and return that result set content. Now I've got a result set that now I'm able to process that result set, and I can use that, say, for example, in a JTable. Take a look at my other videos to see how I can actually use that result set vector and work it with a GUI so you can actually put that data inside there. See you next time. Cheers. Have a good day. Bye-bye.